Hey there, guys. How y'all doing? Hopefully you guys are having a good Tuesday. And if this is your first time seeing the channel, welcome. And if you're a repeat viewer, welcome back. I wanted to talk a little bit, because without, there's not been a whole lot of like real hockey news or anything. I mean, other than the Carlson trade and everything. And I was trying to think, of different ideas to do for videos. And I don't know if I've talked about how what got me into collecting the hockey jerseys. I don't know if I've ever really got into that. I might have back, like maybe when I first started the channel, I might have, but I'm not entirely sure. I haven't, gone back to see some of the videos from however long ago. But before I talk about how my jersey collection started, like I said, if you are new to the channel, or if you're new to hockey in general and love the sport and have questions, whatever, ask me. I love it. I love trying to answer them. And if you love the sport, it'd be awesome if you'd hit the like button. Also, hit the subscribe button too if you really enjoy the videos. And also, if you want to be notified anytime future videos are uploaded, you can tap that little bell down there, and it will turn on notifications. And anytime a video of mine is uploaded, it will let you know. So, my jersey collection. It's gotten pretty, this is just some. This is just some. There's some behind here. There's some more behind here. There's others out in the other closet out there. And I got totes down here that you can't really see, but there's totes full of jerseys there. And I need to kind of go through them all and count how many I have, because I have a lot. And kind of a lot of weight on this. I need to upgrade these hangers. These hangers are just those cheap plastic hangers you can buy at like Walmart, Target. You can get a 10-pack for like $1.50, or with inflation now I think it's like $2.50. But yeah, they're just those those cheap kind of hangers. And it's a lot of weight there, and that it's a wooden dowel there, and I need to get something more sturdy for that. I wish I had more. I would love it if I had more room. If I had more room, I could, because one thing I liked when Shannon was doing his new setup in his new place that him and Yvonne have. He has those. He's got those shelves from IKEA. Those looks. I mean, I saw him put those up, and I'm like, that's a cool idea, because he's got because then he has all of them hanging up. He doesn't have any sitting in totes or anything like I do. I mean, if I could have, if I had the room for that, I'd do something like that, and I could have all of them hanging. CCM, Reebok, Adidas, all of them, and that would be so cool. And I love too how it's double stacked too, so it's not like they're high enough, but even the lower shelf there is still low. It's still up high enough where the jerseys aren't on the ground. They're not dragging on the ground. And I thought that would be a cool thing to have. Something that I'm hoping to maybe get at some point. But right now, just have this little 4x4 closet, and you can see it's kind of cluttered with jerseys. But how I started collecting, I'd always loved hockey since I was, ever since I was a kid. I loved the sport of hockey. And my brother played it. I played it. I wasn't really that good at it. Yeah, I was never really that good, but I loved playing it. And I found this little thing. I found it in a box. Oddly enough, I found it in the same box that I found all these little magnets, which is still not all of them. I mean, there's still some that are missing from somewhere. I wish I knew where the heck the rest of them were. But I found this. I remember my mom used to wear it on her coat. And, oh, look at that face. Look at that. Look at that. Look. Big kind of comparison. Big head of hair. Not so much here. But, yeah, I was probably 11. I think I was probably 11 there. I think that was Pee-wee hockey. I only played really 2 years. I played squirts and I played Pee-wees. And, yeah, I wasn't really that good, but I enjoyed it. I mean, you can tell how long it was. Look at that helmet. They don't make the helmets anywhere close to that, like that anymore. But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. And, and I was always the one that I tried to, because I was never really that good, I tried to, quote, cherry pick a lot. tried not to go off sides. There was sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But again, it was fun. I enjoyed skating. It was really a lot of fun. And I remember we used to get this catalog in the mail. I think I don't think it didn't come every month. I think it came. I think they had a winter catalog. They had like a fall winter catalog, and then I think they had a summer catalog. And the company was called Kemp's. It was called Kemp's Hockey Supply Company. I mean, I used to have a ton of these catalogs, a ton of them. And they sold equipment, they sold sticks, they sold skates, they sold, the breezers, all the hockey equipment. They also sold replica NHL jerseys. And I believe that is where my collection finally kind of started, because I didn't have any jerseys yet up until about 1992. And I had kept looking in these catalogs, and I'm looking at these jerseys, and I'm just like, oh. And they had the home ones and the road ones. This is when the home jerseys were the white ones. And I always liked the road ones because the road ones were the dark, were the dark the dark color, which is now the home. And I always loved some of them. I'd look at some, I'm like, oh, that's so nice. I like that one. I like that one. I just kind of went through like, God, there's a bunch of these I'd love to get my hands on. Now, mind you, 1992, I'm like 13, 14, somewhere in there. Yeah, I think it was 13, my freshman year in high school. I was 13 years old. 13, no, 14. No, I would have been 14. 14, I believe, going on 15. And I didn't know. I mean, I would always tell my mom, oh, I'd love this one, or I'd love this one. And this is when Tampa Bay and Ottawa came in. And I remember they kind of showed, a big thing about what the Ottawa Senators jersey looked like. And I really liked it. I really, really liked it. I liked the logo. The logo is fantastic. Basically this, although their original logo is a little different. It is this logo, but there is a little bit of a difference in the original logo compared to this one. And of course, Tampa came in, and I remember, I asked my mom, I was like, I loved the Tampa one, because I already figured out, I'm like, maybe I can get, maybe I could talk my mom into, Tampa Bay for my birthday, and then maybe Ottawa for Christmas. That's kind of how I was thinking. Not knowing that, that of course, my mom was notorious for trying to say, they ran out, gosh darn it, they sold out, and then I'd be like, damn it. And then I'd be all frustrated. I'd be like, that kind of thing. Not knowing, of course, that, oh yeah, she ordered it like 2 months prior. That's just kind of how she was. And that's what made her awesome. Was she would throw those little curveballs in, and then when I'd open it, I'd be like, ah! I'd just be like, oh my God. That's kind of how that worked. But I remember now not knowing that after my birthday, this is when I found out that she actually did order it. It just hadn't shown up in the mail yet because it wasn't there on my birthday. And and she told me, she's like, it hasn't gotten here yet. And I'm like, oh, okay, Well, then 2 days after my birthday in gym class, me and a classmate kind of collided. We hit knees, and my knee blew. Gone. Just gone. It wasn't that hard either. It just kind of was a little but it was in the right spot and gone. ACL, MCL, all that. Totally gone. And needless to say, I was kind of shot trying to walk. Trying to drag my butt all the way up to from the hockey arena, from where the hockey arena was. They didn't have ice at the time yet because it wasn't hockey season yet. So they hadn't started doing the ice yet. It was still volleyball courts and stuff like that. But dragging myself from there all the way up this long hallway to the locker room to change clothes, then go from the locker room and try to basically crawl or drag or do as much as I could to get to the office or somewhere. And of course, kids walking through the hallway, anybody stop to help? No, not at all. Not at all. But, I get to the office, one of the principals opens the door, and I'm like, help! And he drags me in there, and of course, they didn't have wheelchairs at the time. The wheelchairs weren't exactly a thing in the schools yet. So they call my mom at work. Your son hurt his knee in class or whatever. And she's like, okay, you got an ice pack on it? Which of course they're like, no. Now mind you, she was a nurse. She'd been a nurse and worked, with, anything health and safety related at, wherever she was. So I mean, she knew what she was talking about. And that was the first thing she said. She's like, number one, get a freaking ice pack on that, and I'll be there as soon as I can. She gets there. She goes, I take the ice pack off my knee. My knee is like triple in size, and it is. And yeah, she's just like, oh yeah, we gotta get that looked at. Now mind you, they didn't have wheelchairs yet. So what they did is they put me in this little we always liked these chairs. The teachers always sat on them. There were these plastic padded chairs. And and they were on wheels. I mean, we always liked them as a kid because we're like, God, we'd like to get one of those chairs. Well, that's what they put me in. And they wheel me into the car, all that. I get to the hospital, they do an x-ray, all that. And they didn't have the MRI. MRI machines weren't, you couldn't just get an MRI like that. No, I had to wait 3 days. But you know, they go through the whole thing. They stick me in this this bright blue immobilizer with it must have been like 10. It had to be at least 10 different Velcro straps, and it was from my ankle all the way up to the top of my thigh. So I mean, imagine one of those, big long immobilizer things, and that was so my leg couldn't move. So I'm on crutches and all that, and get home, and and I'm just like, well, this day couldn't have gotten any worse. And then it's almost like it made it feel a little better, because all of a sudden my mom's like, oh yeah, this came for you, and I'm like, oh, what is that? I go and I open it up, and it is this. This is the jersey that I opened up 2 days after my birthday, after I blew my knee in gym class. This is the jersey. Shows you how far back this is. This was 1992. This jersey, this exact one. I can't fit into it, right? I can't fit into it anymore. It's kind of it's only a large, and but I mean, you can see how, even the logos back then were pretty nice. I mean, they still, they were done pretty nice. And for a jersey that's been around since 1992, this thing is still in relatively good shape. I mean, obviously, other than the CCM being, kind of washed out on the back. But, the logos were made nice. And of course, Tampa's, the original Florida Lightning logo there, absolutely gorgeous. So getting this kind of actually made me feel a little bit better, because I knew I had kind of a long road ahead. I had to have knee surgery. They went in. Fortunately, I didn't, have to have my knee completely like slit open. They were able to go in there, with the arthroscopic stuff and do it that way. But yeah, so that kind of made me feel a little bit better. And yeah, I'm in, knee rehab for like the next 6-7 months. But then after I got this one, I thought, I'd maybe like to get Ottawa's next. So Christmas comes around. Now, mind you, my knee is still all messed up. Christmas comes around, and this shows up as a Christmas present. Now, you compare the two logos. You look at them side by side. Can you guys tell what the difference is? If you guys can tell the difference, I'll tell you the difference. But if you guys can guess what the differences are between these two logos, put them in the comments section before I, tell you guys what the difference is. It's pretty easy to find them. And it's kind of what I wish they would have gone to with this one. When they went back to this logo, I was hoping they would have went back. I like the fact that they kind of changed the colors up a little bit, at least on this part, in comparison to here. But I would have loved it if they'd have gone to this logo. Because the difference, as you can see here, in here it's blank. But in here, you have that little design that's all around the front right here. It's right there. And then, of course, just to let you know what the team name is, they put the team name in. Ottawa Senators. I kind of wish they would have done that again. I really kind of do. Because I think that would have looked pretty neat. And of course, this never really changed. Because even when they went back to this logo, this obviously is the reverse retro. But they went back to the original looking jersey, and this came back, which was awesome. And that's just kind of how it started. It started off with those two, and then I basically, started trying to get, jerseys for every, my goal was to try to get jerseys for every team. Now, mind you, this was when the league had 24 teams. And then, of course, as the league kept expanding, I kept thinking, I don't know if I'm going to pull this off. Because that's all I want. I wanted one team for all. I wanted at least one jersey for all the teams. That was my goal when I started. That's kind of how a lot of the collectors start. They just want at least one for all the teams, just to say, I've got at least one for all the teams. That's kind of how it went. And Christmas and birthday, birthdays and Christmas basically is how my collection started going. Until I basically got out of college and stuff like that, and had gotten a job and was able to kind of be able to start getting some on my own. And it just kind of morphed into what you see here. What you see here, what's behind it, what's in the totes here, what's out there. It just kind of, it just kind of blew up, because I'd have a jersey for a particular team. Well, then they'd rebrand. They'd come out with a new jersey, new logo, all that, and I'm like, well, I got to get the new one. I can't just have the old. I have to get the new one too. So every time a team would rebrand, I'd have to get that one just to keep it up to date. And that's kind of how that, I think we've all done that. That's kind of how that all goes. And it just kind of built and built, and up until, eventually now, here it is 2023, it's been 31 years, and, I've got a pretty decent sized collection, pretty good collection. Of course, there's still more that I want to get. There's still more prime greens that I want to get, especially being that prime greens the Adidas goes out after next season. I want to try and get all the prime greens that I can, because I don't trust Fanatics to be worth anything. I mean, they can't even do t-shirts right. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of hope for them. And the fact that, I mean, the NHL they've had to see that fans don't like this company. As one of my jerseys falls down here, they can't, they can't see, or they'd have to be blind. Number one, they would have to be blind to not see that fans do not like Fanatics. They don't like them. They don't like the idea of Fanatics doing the jerseys. And nobody trusts them. Nobody trusts Fanatics to do anything, because we keep seeing on the Fanatics Sucks Twitter page, or I guess it's called X page now, every day I'm seeing new examples. Orders being canceled just out of the blue. People placing orders and they just spontaneously get canceled. Or orders that are taking, they go and they make an order. It says, oh, it should ship out by this date, and yet, number one, it does not ship out by that date. It takes like 2 months before it finally ships out, and then it takes another month before the people get it. And I've seen so many examples of that. I've been lucky. I've been pretty lucky that, whenever I've made orders, like for my Stanley Cup stuff, my Stanley Cup hat, which, again, quality control, do you not know how to put a leveler or something there, when you're putting it on, put a ruler or something to make sure that it's flat and not crooked. But those came pretty quick, and it didn't take a whole ton of time. Where some people, they've had to wait months. or their orders are being canceled, or the products they get are just, the printing is coming off, the tags are coming off, the shirts, they go and they wash it once and the shirt starts separating at the seams, and it's just like, and you guys are expected to make these hockey jerseys, these high quality jerseys? Like, come on. So there's not a lot of trust there. Which is why I wanted CCM. I wanted them to pick CCM so bad because it would have made sense because CCM made the jerseys for 20 plus years. They made the jerseys from basically the mid to late 80s up until 2000 and until Reebok took over, which I think was 2006. 06 or 07. So that's a long span that CCM made the jerseys. It just would have made sense because they know what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. They still kind of know what they're doing. And it would have been quality. You know you'd be getting a quality product. With Fanatics, we just don't know. And that's the crappy thing, is we just don't know what Fanatics is going to be, and that's why I think the prime greens are, a lot of people are trying to get the prime greens, because we look at how the prime greens are made, especially with the logos. Do any of us have faith that Fanatics can make these logos with the raised 3D type stitching and everything around them? Do we really think that Fanatics can make those? I don't have a lot of faith in it. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong, but until we actually see what they come out with, especially from the retail side is what I worry about. Because if they just go and say, our breakaway jerseys are the retail ones, nobody's going to buy them. Nobody's going to buy them. And I thought it was interesting. I saw a thing on, I think it was a thing on Facebook. And this is a sports store. They got a whole ton, a whole bunch of Fanatics jerseys with Connor Bedard on them. Number one, the jerseys are Fanatics. And number two, it was the first neckline. It was the full white neckline. The Blackhawks haven't had that first neckline since basically after their first season of Adidas? Or maybe their second season from Adidas when they cut it in half and the white just comes to the half here and then the rest is red? They haven't done that in years. And yet this store gets a whole bunch of Fanatics jerseys with that first year neckline? That tells you how long those have been sitting. And then they just go and we just got this, let's just slap Connor Bedard on him. This sports store, they had no clue who he was. They literally were like, we just got this whole bunch of Blackhawk jerseys with beatered on the, they said beatered. Not Bedard, no, beatered. Bedard, they're like, who is this? They had no clue. And so, they're just throwing them out there for cheap, basically. But it's like, okay, how long have Fanatics had these? That should tell you right there. Stop with the breakaway jerseys. The breakaway jerseys don't sell. They're crap. They're crap. I don't know how many times we always have to say this as collectors. The breakaway jerseys are crap. When they go and when like Fanatics are going and say, well, we did this thing and people wanted a foldable logo. Who did you talk to? Number one. The first thing I'd be talking to is, who did you talk to, number one? You didn't talk to any collectors. You didn't talk to anybody who actually buys hockey jerseys and enjoys buying hockey jerseys. Don't like foldable logos. Are you kidding? Well, they can fold up nice. You can fold these up nicely too, where you're not bending the logo. Because trust me, you go and you bend this, you're going to put a crease in it. Well, guess what? Even with these Fanatics ones, you can get a crease put in them. Real easy. I've seen it. and it looks awful. And it just, you know, I hope the breakaway jerseys aren't going to be the retail ones, because yeah, if they've had those Blackhawk jerseys just sitting around for like the last 7 years, it should tell you something. It should tell you the breakaway jerseys are not popular. Fans don't like them. Collectors will not buy them. And it's crap quality. It really is. It's really bad quality. And even the Mitchell and Ness ones that they came out with, it's this single layer, this single layer screen printed type logos, and it's this vinyl, and there's no embroidery. They look awful. And I saw one kind of up close. I couldn't really get any pictures of it because it was kind of up in the air. But oh my God, they were just looking at it. The light would shine off it, and the light would shine off it, and there'd be part of the logo you couldn't see because it's that vinyl. It's not this. Because light's not going to shine off of this. It's not going to wash out part of the logo, where on those it does. So, I don't know. I'm hoping Fanatics does better, but again, I don't have a lot of hope. And I know us as collectors, we don't really have a whole lot of hope either. But that aside, that little Fanatics rant aside, that's kind of how my collection started. Just started out, as, seeing some jerseys in the Kemp's Hockey Supply catalog, and just, getting a couple of them. The first two, of course, the first two that started the collection off. These two right here. And yeah, for jerseys that are 30 years old, I gotta say, there's no snags in them. This is how good CCM quality was, even back then. There's no snags in them. Obviously, the CCM logos are kind of washed out on the bottom, but that's what happens when you want to run them through the washing machine. But even running them through the washing machine, the logos, they look good. There's no stitching coming out of it. There's no threads that are coming out of it, really. And they look nice. For being around since 1992, these things look pretty cool. They still look pretty nice, and if I could fit into them, I'd probably wear them. I probably would wear them, even though they're 30 plus years old. But let me know what you guys think. What made you guys start collecting hockey jerseys? Was it something similar to mine, where you just kind of saw them in a catalog, or was it a different way? I would love to know how you guys started your guys' collection. And did you start it out something similar, where you just wanted to get one for every team, and hey, you'd be good, and then it just kind of blows up or explodes, kind of like mine did? But I'd love to know how you guys started your collection. What made you start collecting jerseys? And and how old were you when you started collecting jerseys? I was, approximately, 14. So yeah. So let me know how you guys started your collection. I would love to know in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you really enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button. And if you were able to make it all the way through to the end of this video, because I know, a lot of people, they shut the video off after like 4 minutes because I do have a tendency to ramble. If you were able to get all the way to the end of this video, comment jersey collection in the comment section to let me know you were able to get all the way through the video. And that would be absolutely fantastic. So yeah, let me know how your collection started. Let me know what age you were when you started collecting. And if you made it all the way through to the end of the video, comment jersey collection. That would be awesome. That would let me know that there's people that actually watch my videos all the way through. So that would be cool. So again, Hit like and subscribe. Hit that little bell if you want to be notified anytime future videos are uploaded. And yeah, jersey collections. Lot of fun. Let me know how yours started. I'll see you guys later.